I wrote the 2024 UTME and had a total score of 347 over 400. Yeah, that's right. So in this video, I'll be showing you how I made this score and the mistakes I made, my study strategies and my study techniques. So stick around to the end of this video so that you will know what I did to have 347 all over 400 in JAMB. My name is Victor and you're watching Victor Science Hub, an educational channel. This video obviously is going to be long because I'm going to be explaining everything I did while I was studying for my JAMB to have that score. So now we start with the first tip, which is you ask yourself, why do I want to score high in JAMB? You have to answer this question before you even think of starting to study, because if you don't have any reason to do something, will you even have the motivation to do that? No. So you have to ask yourself this question. If you answer this question, you have that drive in you, that thing that will move you, that want to make you to study, because you have a reason to study. Let me say you don't feel like studying for that day now. You can remember the reason why you want to get that score, and you study more. Some reasons why you want to get high score in JAMB might be that you want to gain admission faster and easily into the university, or you want to get scholarship. It might be. I also had my own reasons. I wanted to get scholarship, so that was why I studied very hard. When I don't feel like studying, I always remember that my reason for studying, and I stand up even when I'm tired. I force myself even when I'm tired to study, because I had my reason for studying. After this, we are going to go to the second tip, which is for you to start early. You can't start preparing for JAMB, let me say 3 weeks to the exam or 2 weeks to the exam, or you have to start, or something less than 1 month to the exam. You have to start like 2 months, 1 month, and or 3 months to your exam, or even more. You have to start very early so that you can be able to cover the syllabus. JAMB syllabus is voluminous. You can't study a night before the exam and expect to get good results. It does not happen like that. While I was studying, I started around close to the beginning of my SS3. I started then to study, though I was studying for both WAEC and JAMB, so it was just like kind of a combined distance. So that was how I was doing it. So I started early. So now we go to the next tip, which is to plan your score. I remember this, planning your score. Okay, so we have to have a target you want to reach, so that you have a direction, a focus point you want to get to. Get your score, know the score that you want to get, and always aim high. When I was preparing, I had a target. My target was 370, but I ended up scoring 347. If you aim high, you might not actually get that exact score, but you get something closer to that score. So you have to always aim high. But it depends, sha. Sometimes you might aim high and get something higher than that, and sometimes you might aim high and get something lower than that. This might be because of your preparation. After you plan your aggregate score, you also have to plan your individual score. My individual scores were maths, I wanted to score 99, chemistry I wanted to score 95, physics 95, while English 80. And I got the exact score both in chemistry and physics, but I didn't get the exact score in maths. But I got something closer to it, and I didn't get the exact score in English. So you have to have that plan, that target, so you know what you actually want to get. So now we go to the next tip, which is time management. You have to be able to manage your time. You set limits, you set time limits for your study. Let me say you want to study maths, for example, and for you want to study maths today, and the topic you want to study is sets. You can set the time. You can say that you study this topic for 2 hours, and you make sure you study it for 2 hours, so that you'll be able to manage your time. You can plan it. You can have a booklet where you write the subject and the topic you want to cover in like 30 days. I had that, I did that. So, and you follow that timetable strictly. That was what I did. If you have, let me say you have like only 30 days to your JAMB, that's 1 month. You have to set this time limit, or this time chart, or time schedule, timetable for your JAMB exam will be very, very important, because it will help you to be strict with yourself, and it will help you to have time boundaries and limits to the topics you study. Now we go to the next step, which involves my studied strategy. So now we start with the first one. The first thing I took very, very important while I was studying was the past question. You have to use the past question very, very well, and you use it you use it smart. Not, you don't use it anyhow. There is a method you use while studying your past question. Most people will read their past question instead of them using it or studying it, or using it as like a tool for their jam. Instead, they reread it, they cram the answers and stuff. That is not the way to use your past question. Why you want to use your past question? You have to like, let me say, you're studying year 2001 in your jam physics. You open that page and you take a separate book and number it to the numbers that are there, and you start answering your question. Don't cram the answers. Just answer them. Once you're done answering, you mark yourself and check the ones that you had wrong. You pay your most attention to the ones that you had wrong, because that is the place that you're not good at. You have to focus on your weak point, the points that you're not actually good at. So once you find out those questions that you got wrong, you focus and you pay attention to them, so that you'll be able to know how to solve them. That's the way to use your past question. Don't scram, it's not good. And I also like using the CBT app. It really, really helps me. The CBT test driller. While I was using it, I like visualize myself writing the exam. I'm like, every week, every weekend, I normally do the CBT, like how JAMB is four subjects, and I answer all of them in 2 hours. Sometimes I reduce the time. So while I was doing that, I was seeing my growth and everything. I saw how I was doing, and tried to analyze and evaluate myself on how I was doing. So it is very, very important. Know how to use your past question, and try using the CBT app. I'll go to my next study strategy, which was taking notes. I love this. This was while I was like reading. Okay, this is how I did it. When I read a particular paragraph, I try to understand it, and I write in my own words, in my notes, in my own personal notes. And it just helps to like connect everything you read, and if you just write the notes without reviewing it, it's from time to time you forget them. So after some time, you have to be reviewing the notes. So while studying, you have to have a note by your side. Mostly I use this method for subjects like physics and chemistry. Like physics involves like 50% reading and 50% calculation. Why chemistry involves like 80% reading and 20% calculation. So I used notes for these subjects. So that was what I did. That it was very, very helpful. So now we go to my next study strategy. I used flashcards. Yes. Flashcards is like a square paper, and the front of the paper you have the question, while at the back the answer is written. So once you have your flashcard, you look at the front of the paper and it's just like asking yourself a question. Then if you don't get it, you turn the back and you know that you don't know that thing very well, so you focus more on that one, those ones that you don't know. So I mostly use flashcards, something like this, like here. Now I ask myself, what are the features of catalysts, and I'll mention all of them. And when I turn back, I'll check if got I got the answers. That's flashcard, and that's how to use it. My next study tip or technique is to study with friends. Study with people that have the same goal with you, because once you study with them, it will be very very hard for you to forget that thing. So study with your friends, study with your classmates, and you see how you improve very well. So my next study strategy was that I asked for help, like YouTube, my teachers I went to. That was what I did. Some topics you might not know all the topics, or know understand all the topics. So you have to go to your teachers, go to YouTube, you ask questions, you know how it's done, and that's it. So now my final study strategy was to focus more on my weak points. I've not actually been talking about my mistakes, though this video might not I might not talk about everything because the video is already long. So now I'll talk about this. There was a mistake I made while I was studying for JAMB. I focused on my weak points, but not like, I didn't focus more on my weak points. You have to focus more on your weak points. Like English was my weak point. I viewed myself as not the kind that knows English, because English was a kind of subject like that. So I I didn't really take it that serious, because when I was studying, I was not still getting what I wanted, so I didn't put that much effort while studying for English. So always focus on your weak point and don't make the same mistake that I did. If you study really hard for the subject that you're not good at, you will get good at it from time to time. So that's it. That's all for my study strategy. The last tip I'm going to say is to pray. If you don't pray, all these things I've been mentioning might not you might not get the results that you've been struggling for. So you have to pray, because that day things might happen. You have to pray for those things not to happen. Your computer might shut down, you might be pressed, you might forget something, things happen. So you have to pray that all this your study will not be a waste, all of it will not be a waste. You focus on God, you pray for success, have a relationship with God. It's very very important. I hope you enjoyed this video. Wish you the best in your JAMB exam, and please don't forget to subscribe so that you get more of this video, because I'll be releasing more videos for JAMB that will help you. So subscribe, like, and share this video to your friends. Thank you for watching, and God bless you. I'll see you in my next video.